Earlier today, I wanted to study some Japanese and realized that I'm running out of flashcards to study. And that is not for a lack of new words to learn. I wish I was that good. But because I haven't sentence mined anything in a while, and I'm running out of new cards for my last show. If you're not part of a certain online learning community, then mining or sentence mining might not be familiar concepts to you. But that is exactly why I decided to take you along today on a little sentence mine with me, and I'll explain the whole concept and everything surrounding it. So, what is sentence mining? It essentially describes the act of taking notes, or more specifically, making flashcards. These flashcards show words or sentences you want to learn or remember from media that you consume in your target language. So, if you're watching a tutorial or a movie and hear a word you would like to remember, you take note of the sentence for later review. As technology has advanced, this process has been automated for the most part, allowing for card creation with only a click or two, so that it is no longer necessary to pause and replay the same scene 17 times to check if you got all the words right. I'm learning Japanese and I will make flashcards from Japanese anime, because they usually have accurate Japanese subtitles, and the software I use, Migaku, makes it a lot easier to make flashcards from media with accurate subtitles. But people have come up with all kinds of setups to sentence mine books, audiobooks, shows, and even games, so the sky's the limit. That sounds great and all, but why would you go through all that hassle? Just get a textbook or download a vocabulary list or something. Yeah, I literally hate flashcards. They're so boring. I mean, look at this. And those are fair criticisms and ugly cards. And I myself am in somewhat of a love-hate relationship with flashcards, because I know that they're not necessarily the most fun way of engaging with a language. But to be fair, neither are textbooks with grammar drills upon vocabulary lists. But like many other beginner and intermediate resources, they're supposed to help you build a foundation. Build up a vocabulary that eventually allows you to access the more fun parts of the language without having to rely on translations, localizations, or subtitles. And flashcards are actually surprisingly good at helping you retain vocabulary and review grammar structures. The reason why sentence mining specifically is such a great activity for language learning is because not only do you end up with sentence cards that actually matter to you, so you learn words that you care about, but also because the activity of listening closely and paying really close attention to what's happening in the show and to what you're hearing and what you want to learn will help you be engaged and in turn help you learn faster. Because believe it or not, turning off your brain while you're watching an episode of anime is not gonna help you learn Japanese. Today, I figured we would watch Princess Mononoke and see if we can find some good sentences to mine. Now, good is obviously relative, but ideally you want sentences where there's only one piece of new information, one new word, one new grammar structure, so that you don't overwhelm yourself. Sometimes it can be worth mining a sentence if it's an idiomatic expression or a phrase you want to remember as is, even if you know all the words that appear in it. I'm sure many people will be able to relate to the feeling of knowing all the words in a sentence but still not understanding what's happening. Of course, there are also cases where it does not make sense to mine a sentence. For example, if a character yells out only one word, it might be difficult to recall what that word means later on because you don't have any clues other than the word itself. I also ignore words that are extremely uncommon or obscure because I know that at this point in my learning journey, there are still far more common words that I should focus on. But that is just my personal preference. Some people mine everything they come across, some people only mine words within a certain frequency threshold, but that is totally up to you.
お前撃たれたのか?
So first we want to set up the subtitles so that we can mine properly, and then also show them on the side, and then we're ready to go. Yeah, see, this is not a sentence I would mind because there's too many unknown words. I kind of don't care about them. So we're just moving on.
西の国で何か不吉なことが起こっている
And
んだ
this is a
よ。
good sentence. There's one unknown word, it's fairly common, and so I'm just gonna grab that real quick. Just gonna record the audio, and then it's gonna send it to the card creator where I can just check that everything's there, translation, audio got recorded, and then we can move on.
その地に赴き、曇りのない眼で物
Yeah,
事
see,
を
this is a card I wouldn't mind because the reading of this kanji is like unusual, I guess, and I don't care to be learning readings like that at this point in time.
お雅なワンだな
Yeah, this is a good sentence right here because you get the visual clue of what's happening. And then we're just gonna grab that real quick,
雅なワンだな
audio record it, and I'm not even gonna create the card right now. I'm gonna save that for later and just move on.
そこでは獣は皆大きく太古のままに生きている
I like the sentence structure and I think I want to remember it. So I'm gonna make a card not necessarily for the word,
そこでは
but
獣は
because the
皆大きく
taiko no mama ni
太古のまま
ikiteiru
に生きている
sentence pattern is kind of interesting, I guess. Yeah, see, this is not a good sentence. Like, I mean, the kanji are pretty obvious, but if I didn't know what this was, I would still not want to mine it because you don't get any clues on screen, and it's just one word.
じいさん口から飯が出てるよ。
そのくせよ、起きてもたたりも平気ちゃらな怖い人や。そうそう、山になんぞ目じゃねえさ。
Yeah, see, this is not something I would ever mind. It's just a bunch of old guys talking about things I don't really care about, kind of slurring their speech, and it's just not something I would enjoy mining or reviewing. So I guess I'll just move on. But that's obviously personal preference, right? Some people would actually want to mine this because they like this style of speaking or something, or they want to remember these exact expressions.
削るし木を切るからな。
山犬の姫、森へ帰れ。ミスミス死ん
Yeah,
だ。
we're gonna just grab that real quick.
そなたは美しい
I know this kanji, but it's interesting. I don't know this word. So I'm just gonna grab that real quick. It's not ideal, but like, it sounds pretty cool.
山犬の力を借りようとは思わん。たとえ我が一族ことごとく
I
滅
think
ぶ
this
とも
war sounds really cool. It's not ideal because it's kind of difficult to understand, but I mean, it seems to be like a not super, super crazy uncommon word, so I'm just gonna grab it.
まさかそなたまで獅子神の生首に不老不死の力があるとは思っていまいな。
やんごと
I
なき
think I
か
want a card for these two sentences. Even though obviously there's multiple unknowns in there, I can guess Shishi and I can guess Namakubi just based on the
まさかそ
kanji.
なたまで獅子
I'm just
神
gonna
の
make
生
these two sentences into one card. And that's how I'll go through the entire movie one line at a time, trying to listen for things that either I'm not sure about or that I don't know, or where maybe, as you saw, I know the kanji, but I don't know that exact word. And obviously, a lot of this is personal preference, right? There might have been some sentences where you're like, why would you mind that? And there might have been sentences that I just glanced over and you were like, that would have been a perfect sentence to mine. The good thing about sentence mining is that it is very individual and you can mine things according to your preferences, your goals, and your current level. And then once the movie is done, you just go into the card creator where the cards are basically saved. They haven't been created yet. You still have to make them so that they get added to your flashcard deck. But it's really quick. You just check if everything looks fine, if the audio was recorded correctly, if maybe you want a different definition. You just click into the field if you want to change anything. It's really easy. And then you just click create card and there you go. There you have a nice card to learn vocabulary with. And this is what the cards are going to look like in the end. You get the word, you get the sentence, you get audio for both, you get the sentence translation, which some people don't do, but I like to have it there just as a reference. Then you also get the definition for the word, which can be in English, German, Japanese, whichever dictionary you have available to you. And then at the very bottom, you get the screenshot of the scene, which just makes it a little more memorable. I hope that this video gave you a better idea of how to learn words with flashcards and actually have fun doing it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and if you would like to add anything about sentence mining, feel free to do so as well. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.